The International Commission of Jurists, ICJ Kenya, is a non-partisan and non-profit organization promoting human rights, the rule of law, and democracy in Kenya and around Africa since 1959.
ICJ Kenya is a human rights-based organization, and our vision is to ensure that we have a just, free, and equitable society.
As part of its advocacy, ICJ Kenya conducted a media training on September 5th and 6th on the role of media in reporting on women's rights within the meaning of the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Women in Africa, popularly known as the Maputo Protocol.
Today we have trained journalists on the Maputo Protocol, and these media practitioners came from different media houses and organizations across the country. As a strategy, ICJ Kenya employs different ways and strategies to ensure that their work has impact in the society. One of the ways is collaboration and partnerships with journalists.
The Maputo Protocol is a progressive legal framework that extensively addresses the political, social, and economic rights of women in Africa. It addresses the challenges faced by African women and girls, such as female genital mutilation, inequalities in representation, among other contextual realities. The Maputo Protocol has been key in adjudicating a number of cases affecting women in the continent.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ICJ Kenya discussion on women's rights. I'm your host, JJ Wangoi. Today we have a panel discussing some of the legal instruments put in place to protect the rights of women, as well as the role of the media in strengthening the implementation of human rights instruments in Africa. Violence against women has been systematically used to inhibit their rights, thus making them lag behind politically, socially, and even economically. But many other times these stories are relegated by the media. So as a journalist, what should be done to bring these stories to the forefront?
Thank you for having me. The role of the media has been carrying out these stories about women. We have allocated spaces, acres of pages, where we highlight the plight of women and stories that help women improve their livelihood economically and their rights. But the problem that we have been having is that many women are not coming out to talk about their issues. But I can say the media has made a great stride towards looking for these stories and highlighting them.
As a woman or a female journalist who's been reporting over time on human rights with a special focus on women, do women have rights?
Yes, women have rights. I would specifically say that the rights for women have been entrenched in different legal frameworks across our own laws and across laws within the region and even with international bodies. All of these laws provide specifically for some aspects that women are also human. So among the rights that people in general enjoy, there are specific ones geared towards women specifically. And as we've seen, the Maputo Protocol provides widely for such as these rights for women in terms of accessing justice, accessing sexual and reproductive health services and rights as well, accessing things like being protected from harmful practices and traditions. So in a wide sense, we'd say women definitely have rights.
And now coming to you, Moses, you come from the CSO background, and particularly from ICJ Kenya, which promotes the rule of law and of course advocates for women's rights and whatnot, what have you. So what is the role of the CSOs in addressing women's rights?
Thank you very much, and thank you for hosting me. And I think the CEOs play a very, very important role in terms of advocating for justice and human rights. One thing I'd say is that we do have the different, the four arms of government, including the media, which is the fourth estate, normally we also have to mention the civil society, because you see, like, talking about the civil society in Kenya, you see that we have been advocating for this right since at first when we repealed the Section 2 of the previous constitution, and then now the fight for the current constitution, which enhanced the gains that women can now be able to proudly say that they can be able to access. Another issue is that the civil society is a source, a dynamic source of ideas, perspective in terms of policy, development of policy. Another issue is that as a civil society organization in terms of fighting for women's rights or violence against women, we are a source of refuge, because sometimes you find you go to the police, maybe these violations are caused by the police, by another arm of government. Now the civil society becomes a source of refuge, where we do document these cases, we do follow up these cases. You remember after the election was in 2007, we do have a public interest litigation case in court of the survivors of the sex and gender-based violence. So I think that complementary role that the civil society plays is very, very important, as it is like the voice of the people, the voice of the common man, the place where the common woman, the common man can seek refuge.
About the Maputo Protocol training, it was a new experience. I think it is unfortunate that most journalists are not aware about it. It's an eye-opener, but it is one of the few legislations that offers protection to single mothers and widows and elderly, and also it's good to know that there are reservations that have been put in place by the Kenyan government. Either way, I think it is an important tool.
We've partnered with ICJ in the police reforms, and this is very critical for us to partner again in women rights issues. From the training, I've been able to learn a lot about the Maputo Protocol, and of course the state obligations to ensuring that this Maputo Protocol is implemented. And hopefully after being implemented, we hope to see that women's rights are of course entrenched and respected by all state agencies.
I am really thankful to the ICJ team for giving me this opportunity to come for the training. It has been really informative, and I'd say it's an eye-opener for me, because as writers or as reporters, as journalists, we write things, and most of the times we think we know everything, and then you realize that there are some things that you need to go back to the boardroom and do. So I am specifically so much enlightened about the Maputo Protocol, which I have just heard about, but right now I have, I'd say, in-depth learning on the Maputo Protocol, and I am very sure I will be using many times in my writing, especially as a broadcast journalist.